Well, a record number of kids across Canada are turning to support programs to help them get through the school day without going hungry. Breakfast Club of Canada is the country's largest school food provider. The organization says at least 1 in 3 children in the country is arriving at school hungry almost every day, and nearly 2.5 million children live in a food insecure household, which represents a third of the children in this country. And for more on this, we are joined by program leads for the Breakfast Club of Canada, Ryan Baker. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. What stands out to you about these troubling trends?
It's been a trend that's existed for a long time across Canada, and just now we're starting to really work to expose the issue. Breakfast Club of Canada has worked for 30 years to support schools, school districts, community partners across the country to help make sure that students can eat breakfast every school day of the year. But as we continue to support programs, we continue to see greater needs, whether they be more students arriving at school looking for food, arriving hungry, or more schools struggling with the cost of the continued rising cost of food. And it's just a problem that continues to exist. We support nearly 5,000 programs across the country, but there are still thousands more that need additional support.
And can you talk more about how the situation has changed over the years and what the numbers look like now compared to before the pandemic?
Absolutely. The pandemic really isolated and highlighted the continued need to support students when they arrive at school. So many students are arriving at school hungry for whatever reason. It's not just poverty. So many students are on a bus early in the morning to get to school, or their parents are out of the house early, so they're not able to make a nutritious breakfast. And really, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that every student has access to a nutritious meal to start their day and be their best selves at school.
Can you tell us more about your message now to organizations and governments across the country as kids get ready to go back to school?
Yeah, we really continue to remind everyone that the problem still exists, but more and more community partners and stakeholders and governments are starting to work together to start to address this issue. And we really do believe that the solution to this issue is a partnership between all levels of government, nonprofit stakeholders, food providers, and those on the ground who are doing the work every day to make sure that students are eating breakfast. That could be teachers or principals or family members who are coming into the school. Everyone has a role to play, and if we continue to work together, I think that we can solve this issue.
And you know, to most people, this is pretty obvious, but can you help us understand the importance of children eating breakfast and the correlation between that and their success?
Absolutely. We hear from so many schools that we support that between higher attendance at schools, once they implemented a breakfast program, better behavior from students, better learning outcomes, there's so many benefits to making sure that students are eating nutritious food every morning. And it seems really obvious, but sometimes we don't think about it. But schools are so happy to have our support because they tell us, especially those in rural and remote communities, that more students start coming to school every day because they know that there's going to be a warm plate of food waiting for them.
So true, and so important to talk about that. Ryan Baker, program leads for the Breakfast Club of Canada. Thank you so much for breaking this down and for getting the message out there. It's an important conversation, so we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.